Good morning. Today we are going to take the class regarding calculus of variation or variational principle. Variational principle. That is, in order to solve a problem in mechanics, we require the complete information regarding the position or location of the object. When we are going to solve a problem, in mechanics, we have to locate the problem. We have to locate the position of the problem. And for example, consider a body is moving from one point to this point 1A to another point B. A particle is moving from A to B. And in order to solve the problem, in order to solve the equation of the problem of motion from A to B, we have to get the exact position of the object and we have to locate the path. We have to locate the path of the particle while it is moving from A to B. Therefore, in order to move a particle from A to B, different paths can be taken. It can take this straight line path, it can go along this direction, it can go through this direction, and there are different paths possible, and we cannot get the exact idea about the problem by knowing the endpoints only. If you know the first point, starting point, and the final point, we cannot get the clear idea regarding or complete idea regarding the movement of the particle. Therefore, we have to get the complete path at each instant, or for simplicity, we have to get the piecewise information. That is, a small piece here, a small piece, another piece, another piece. Just like we have to get piecewise information regarding the location of the object or location of the particle. Therefore, such problems, by knowing the piecewise information, is solved by means of a method called calculus of variation, and the method used is based on variational principle, and the method used is calculus of variation, or it is known as variational principle. In calculus of variation, we have to get the piecewise information of the object or the particle. We have to get the piecewise information of the particle or the object. And for example, consider a body moving along the xy plane. This is the x direction, this is the y direction, and a particle is moving from A to B along the straight line, or the object is moving along another direction from A to B. Two directions are given here. This path is A to B, this is the straight line path, or this is the minimum path. From A to B along this point C, along the direction A, C, B is the minimum path, or it is the straight line path. Another path is here, A, D, B, which is another path. There may be such different paths possible for the body to move from A to B. Therefore, consider this straight line path, and in this straight line path, consider a small piece ds, and this is the x component dx, and this is the y component dy. Therefore, ds square is equal to dx square plus dy square, or ds is equal to this small piece ds is equal to square root of dx square plus dy square, or we can write square root of we can divide the equation throughout by dx, that is dx square divided by dx square plus dy square divided by dx square. When we are dividing, we have to multiply, that is we have to multiply with dx square. That is equal to square root of dx square by dx square is equal to 1, dy square by dx square, dy by dx the whole square, into square root of dx square dx, or we can write ds is equal to square root of 1 plus dy by dx can be written as y dot square into dx. Therefore, total path from A to B, total path from A to B can be written as integral of total path, total integration is equal to integral ds is equal to integral from A to B or x1 to x2 square root of integral square root of 1 plus y dot square dx, or this is equal to integral, this is a function of y dot f of y dot dx from A to B, or it can be written as integral from A to B f of, as y dot is a function of x and y dot is equal to dy by dx, that is a function of x, that is a function of y, therefore f of x y dot x dx. We can write the total path taken is equal to integral from A to B, integral from A to B, a function of y dot x dx. This is the total path equation for the path taken from A to B. And we have considered, in this problem we have considered that the path is the minimum path or the straight line path. If it is the minimum path, straight line path, this is the equation. And if it is not the minimum path, it is another path. If it is another path, we have to consider a constant also. Along with this, we have to consider a constant also. Therefore, we can write y is equal to y of x comma alpha. In the previous case, we have written y is equal to y of x. Here, if it is for the minimum path, or it is called the extremum path. Extremum means minimum or maximum, extremum path. For the other paths, for all other paths are called comparative paths, which are not minimum. Comparative paths. We can write the equation as y is equal to y of x comma alpha, means x comma alpha 1. Another path y is equal to y of x comma alpha 2. Another path y is equal to, there are so many paths it can have, y comma x3 and so on. Etc. This is the equation that we can write in the case of the position or the path taken by 2 points when it is moving from A to B. And another thing is that here at the 2 points, at the 2 extreme points A and B, there is no variation. If the path is along this direction, if the path is along this direction, it can have any paths, but for all paths A is the same, B is the same. The two endpoints are the same. There is no variation for y with respect to x at endpoints. That is, dy by dx is equal to the same. There is no change in y with respect to x at the endpoints. At endpoints, dy by dx is equal to 0. Okay, dy by dx is equal to 0 for endpoints. And there is no variation, or we can write for all the paths, for this path we have taken a constant alpha 1, for this path we have taken a constant alpha 2, and this variation is only for the other paths. For the extremum path there is no variation, therefore there is no change dy by d alpha at the two endpoints. At the endpoints there is no variation for y with respect to alpha. At endpoints y is constant. It is not depending upon alpha 1, alpha 2, etc. For all other points in between, if the point is here, it changes with respect to alpha 1, alpha 2, etc. But at this point it is constant. It does not, the y does not depend upon alpha. Therefore, at the extreme points, at the end points, dou y by dou alpha is equal to 0. and dou, there is no variation for x with respect to alpha. Dou x by dou alpha is always equal to 0. There is no variation for x component with respect to alpha. Only y component is changing. The variation is there only with respect to y component. Therefore, dou x by dou alpha is always equal to 0. Dou y by dou alpha is equal to 0 at n points. Now, we can derive some techniques of calculus of variation. Some techniques of calculus of variation. By using this variation principle, we can have some techniques that we can derive here. That is, a path I is written as integral f of y dot x, okay, into dx. A path is taken as integral I is taken as integral f of y dot x, and we know that for the extremum path, for minimum or maximum, for extremum path there is no change in path. dy is equal to 0. Dou I by dou alpha is equal to 0. That is equal to integral dou f by dou alpha, dou f by dou y into dou y by dou alpha plus dou f by dou y dot into dou y dot divided by dou alpha plus dou f by dou x into dou x by dou alpha into dx from x1 to x2. Dou I by dou alpha is equal to variation in I with respect to alpha is equal to integral from x1 to x2, this much. We have three variables y dot and x, and now we can write dou I by dou alpha into delta alpha can be written as delta I. Dou I by dou alpha into delta alpha, we are multiplying by using delta alpha. Therefore, here also we can multiply with the delta alpha is equal to integral from x1 to x2. We can separate the three integrals, dou f by dou y by dou alpha into dx delta alpha plus integral from x1 to x2 dou f by dou y dot by dou alpha into dx delta alpha plus integral from x1 to x2 dou f by dou x dou x by dou alpha into dx delta alpha. From this equation we know that we have already said that there is no variation for x with respect to alpha. This is equal to 0. Therefore, this term vanishes. Last term vanishes, and now we can write the equation as delta I is equal to variation in I is equal to delta I is equal to integral from x1 to x2 dou f by dou y into dou y by dou alpha into dx delta alpha plus dou f by dou y dot into dou y dot by dou alpha into dx delta alpha. x1 to x2 dou f by dou y by dou alpha dx delta alpha plus the second term we can integrate once again. That is equal to second term we can integrate separately and we can add to this one. Second term is integral dou f by dou y dot into dou y dot by dou alpha means dou by dou x of dou y by dou alpha into dx, then we can write delta alpha. This much we can take. This term we can separately integrate, then we get first function dou f by dou y dot into integral of second is, integral of second means dou by dou x is cancelled, dou y by dou alpha, endpoints x1 x2 minus integral of from x1 to x2 derivative of the first d by dx of dou f by dou y dot minus integral of second dou y by dou alpha into completely delta x. Here this term at the endpoints dou y by dou alpha is equal to 0, that we have already derived. Dou y by dou alpha is equal to 0. Now there are only two terms, minus integral x1 to x2 d by dx of dou f by dou y dot. This is into first function into integral of second minus integral of derivative of the first into integral of second. That is, we get minus, the term is minus integral from x1 to x2 d by dx of dou f by dou y dot into dou y by dou alpha into here there is integral with respect to dx into delta alpha. Now on the both equations there is dou y by dou alpha that can be taken out. Therefore this is equal to delta I is equal to integral from x1 to x2 dou y by dou alpha into dou f by dou y minus d by dx of dou f by dou y dot into dx delta alpha. Now let the variation I is equal to 0. There is no variation to the path, that is for extremum. If the path is extremum, there is no variation for I. Therefore variation in I is equal to 0 for extremum. This is the condition for extremum. Condition for, usually it is minimum or it is for maximum. Condition for extremum points, extremum delta I is equal to 0. Therefore this term is equal to 0. For this term is equal to 0, and we get the term inside the bracket is equal to 0. That is dou f by dou y minus d by dx of dou f by dou y dot is equal to 0. Since dou y by dou x, dou alpha is not equal to 0, if there is a value for alpha, then there is a variation for y with respect to alpha. Therefore this is not equal to 0. Therefore this term inside the bracket is equal to 0. That is dou f by dou y minus d by dx of dou f by dou y dot is equal to 0. This is the condition for extremum. For extremum paths, the condition is this one. This is a very important equation, and Lagrange's equation also is derived based on this equation. Therefore we get for a path, for a point, when a body is moving from one point to another point, when a particle is moving from one place to another place, the condition for extremum path is, according to the equation of technique of calculus of variation, the condition for extremum path is dou f by dou y minus d by dx of dou f by dou y minus d by dx of dou f by dou y dot is equal to 0. This is the condition for extremum. Now we can have some examples for this condition for extremum path. The simplest example is that of a straight line. Example for straight line. We know the equation for straight line is y is equal to mx plus c, but we have to derive the equation for y is equal to mx plus c based on the technique of calculus of variation. That is, for a straight line, consider a body moving from A to B along a straight line. Then consider a small portion, a small piece of this straight line path ds, and ds is represented as square root of 1 plus, as we have said earlier, ds is equal to square root of dy square plus dx square, or it is equal to ds is equal to square root of 1 plus y dot square into dx. This is the equation. Now we have to get the total equation for straight line path from A to B. We have to integrate this expression. Therefore total integral is equal to, total path is equal to integral ds from x1 to x2, that is equal to integral from x1 to x2 square root of 1 plus y dot square dx. This is the equation for the straight line when it is moving, particle is moving from A to B, and if it is a straight line, there is no variation in the path, that is, there is no change in path, that is, the equation is extremum, that is delta I is equal to 0. For delta I is equal to 0, or for the condition for extremum is, we have already said, condition for extremum is dou f by dou y minus d by dx of dou f by dou y dot is equal to 0 if the path can be represented as integral f dx, integral f dx, or integral of f of y dot x dx. If a path is represented as I is equal to integral from x1 to x2, from x1 to x2 f of y dot x dx, if the path can be represented by this equation, then this is the condition for extremum. Therefore this equation is just like the first equation. Here f is equal to this much. In this equation f is equal to square root of 1 plus y dot square. Therefore we have to calculate, we have to represent this equation, dou f by dou y and dou f by dou y dot we have to calculate here. What is dou f by dou y? In this equation there is no, this is the equation of f. In this equation there is no y, therefore dou f by dou y is equal to 0. In this equation there is y dot, therefore dou f by dou y dot is equal to differential of this equation, that is root x, differential is 1 by 2 root x, then differential of y dot square is equal to 2 y dot, this much. That is, substituting in this equation we get dou f by dou y is equal to 0, 0 minus d by dx of dou f by dou y dot is equal to this much, that is y dot divided by 2 and 2 getting cancelled, square root of 1 plus y dot square is equal to 0 is the condition for extremum. This is the condition for extremum. 0 minus d by dx of y dot divided by root 1 plus y dot square is equal to 0. That is, negative sign can be avoided since it is 0 on the right hand side. D by dx of a function is equal to 0, therefore the function is equal to constant. That is y dot divided by root 1 plus y dot square is equal to constant a. Squaring we get y dot square is equal to a square into 1 plus y dot square, that is equal to a square plus a square y dot square. A square y dot square can be taken to this side, that is a1 minus a square y dot square is equal to a square, or y dot square is equal to a square by 1 minus a square. All these are constants. This is equal to, we can write as k square or m square. That is y dot is equal to m, a constant m. Y dot means dy by dx. Y dot is equal to dy by dx. Y dot is equal to dy by dx is equal to constant m, or y is equal to integral dy by dx that is equal to y is equal to integral m with respect to x dx, that is equal to mx plus a constant of integration c. This is the equation for this straight line. That is based on the calculus of variation, technique of calculus of variation, we have derived that the equation for straight line path is y is equal to mx plus c. Okay, now we can, this equation is called the equation of geodesic. Geodesic. Thus we have derived the equation of geodesic by using the method of calculus of variation. Now we can derive one more example to get the case more clear. We can have the example of a body moving along a curved path. That is the equation of catenary. It is called catenary. That is, a body is moving from a point A to another point B along a curved path. This is the path, not straight line path, curved path, and we have to find the surface area taken by the body. The particle is moving along this direction and it is rotating along a path. What is the surface area taken? It is moving along this path, therefore total surface area taken is, this is surface area. What is the minimum surface area? Equation for minimum surface area is called catenary. Therefore we have to find the equation for minimum surface area. For that, consider the path. This is the x direction, this is the y direction, and the particle is moving from A to B and it takes a surface. Therefore, in order to find that, here consider a small piece ds as in the previous case, and this strip is taken, a strip is taken with this ds, and the distance from the center y axis to the strip is x. We can take the distance from the y axis to the strip is to the small area ds is x. Now what is the surface area of this strip? Surface area is equal to, surface area of the strip is equal to dA, we can write it as dA is equal to 2 pi x ds. This is equal to 2 pi x, instead of ds we can write 1 plus y dot square dx. As in the previous case, we can write ds is equal to square root of 1 plus y dot square dx. Now total surface area is equal to integral of the small surface area. This much surface area of this much strip is this much. Therefore total surface area is equal to from x1 to x2, from this point x1 to this point x2. This point is x1 y1 and this point is x2 y2. Total surface area is equal to, so I is equal to integral from x1 to x2 2 pi x square root of 1 plus y dot square into dx. This is in the usual form. I is equal to integral from x1 to x2 f of y dot x dx. Here f is equal to this much. F is equal to square 2 pi x square root of 1 plus y dot square, or we can avoid these constants. These are constants. Therefore we can write f is equal to x root 1 plus y dot square. Okay. F is equal to x root 1 plus y dot square. Now we can condition for minimum surface area is, condition for catenary is, condition for minimum surface area is, this path should, this equation should obey this equation. That is dou f by dou y minus dy dx of dou f by dou y dot should be equal to 0. This is f. Therefore we have to find dou f by dou y and dou f by dou y dot. First, dou f by dou y, as in the previous case, is equal to 0, that is because there is no y component here. That is dou f by dou y is equal to 0. Then what is dou f by dou y dot? Dou f by dou y dot is equal to dou by dou y dot of f x root 1 plus y dot square. That is equal to, x is a constant, dou by dou y dot of 1 root 1 plus y dot is 1 by 2 root 1 plus y dot square into 2y dot square. 2 and 2 getting cancelled. This is dou f by dou y dot. Therefore, the equation becomes dou f by dou y is equal to 0 minus d by dx of dou f by dou y dot. d by dx of dou f by dou y dot is x y dot divided by square root of 1 plus y dot square. This is equal to 0 means this is equal to 0. Negative sign can be avoided since it is 0. As it is equal to 0, the term inside the bracket is a constant, that is x y dot divided by root 1 plus y dot square is equal to constant. This is equal to constant. Constant, let it be a. Constant a. Now, x y dot is equal to a constant a into 1 plus square, we can square it, x square y dot square is equal to a square 1 plus y dot square, that is equal to a square plus a square y dot square. A square y dot square can be taken to left side, that is x square y dot square minus a square y dot square is equal to a square, or x square minus a square into y dot square is equal to a square, or we can write y dot square is equal to a square divided by x square minus a square, or y dot is equal to a divided by square root of x square minus a square, or y dot is equal to dy by dx is equal to a divided by square root of x square minus a square, and we have to integrate this one, that is y is equal to integral of this one is equal to integral of this one with respect to x, integral of a divided by root x square minus a square into dx, and this is cos h. Integrating we get cos h x by a, that is the equation of catenary is y is equal to a cos h y minus b divided by a. B is also a constant. This is the equation of catenary, or equation for the minimum surface area of a path taken along